Okay, I'm back. And video number 2, as you can see, I didn't change. I'm not trying to trick anybody or fool anybody or make you think that I've done these on different days. It just doesn't work like that for me. So I have to do it in the moment. And that is part of being present moment. So part of me navigating my highest experience is just being in the moment of being me. So here I am. Today, we are going to talk about Alzheimer's and is there a secret gift in this whole thing? Because this is a very difficult illness to navigate, especially when you are facing the challenge of having to care for your loved one who is experiencing Alzheimer's. So I wanted to talk about a conversation that came up in my class last week. And it had to do with one of the participants who has been doing some amazing work as she's been moving through these classes. This is her, I think, second round with me, and also done some personal work, but just an amazing human being and on her soul path. And so she had this experience with her mom who has Alzheimer's, and she recognized an opportunity for her to experience her mom and communicate with her mom in meditation. And why this is so powerful, and I wanted to talk about this, is because what Alzheimer's and even dementia is offering to those of us that are connected to them, right, is telepathy. So if you listened to my video that I just made on light body, rainbow light body, you'll have heard me talking about how these light frequencies are affecting our ears and our hearing, and how it is shifting us from a state of clairaudience into a telepathic state of being. And this is so incredibly important because our new way of communicating going forward is going to be more of a telepathic level. And so when she spoke about this in class, it was so powerful to hear the experience that she had with her mom, who was in her fullness of being her mom in the meditation, where she connected in a dimensional plane, in another state of being, and was able to have this beautiful sharing, this beautiful communication with her. So, you know, when I tuned into that after the class and I spoke with my higher self and my future self and my team, and I asked the question, so is this, you know, partly it's for the person that's experiencing the Alzheimer's, because Alzheimer's is about not really wanting to be here anymore. The body being strong, so it's not going to depart the earth plane, but the human is not happy about the experience that's happening, and the consciousness goes into higher dimensional planes, higher dimensional states of being. So it is not present in this current reality, in this current dimensional state of being, and it goes off into another dimension. And oftentimes the individual who has the Alzheimer's will talk about talking to other loved ones who are already crossed, and it is so indicative that they have been somewhere that is more fulfilling to them than being here in this experience here and now. So it's very important for us to have this awareness that in my opinion anyway, that Alzheimer's is not really a disease of mental illness as much as it is a process where the consciousness, where the soul is so unhappy with the physical experience, yet it cannot depart because the physical body is in its good health. So the consciousness departs and goes to another dimensional state of being. And what it's doing in essence is it's opening the pathway for telepathy for us, which is our ascension process, our ascension right. It's a part of who we are innately. It's a part of our DNA makeup. So if you are thinking about, you know, when is contact going to happen? When am I going to have an experience with my galactic family, with my star family? Well, when we start wrapping our head around the fact that we would be communicating in a telepathic state and not in a physical like we do as humans, that opens the pathway to our ability to become telepathic. And so, you know, I feel like in a way, and you have to see from a higher perspective, that every single thing, I don't care what it is, but every single thing that shows up is showing up and here to help us. It's here to help us with our process of becoming our highest version of ourself. You know, it's like game over. Source is done experiencing itself in all these little fractalized versions of itself, right? And think about the billions of people that are representing each their own fractal of source consciousness in expression as a human being. So source is done, the game is coming to an end, and now we get to ascend our consciousness into a unified state of being, into a unified oneness, knowing ourselves once again as source. And how do we do this? We take all of these little experiences that are being handed to us and using them in whatever way we can. So for those of you that are struggling because you have loved ones who are having an experience with Alzheimer's or dementia, try to look at this from a very high perspective. They are assisting you in supporting your spiritual evolution, your evolution into your higher state of being, through offering you an opportunity to now find another way to communicate with them. And that could be done easily through dream state if you focus your intention as you're falling asleep on connecting with them in dream state. It could be done in meditation, as you see from my class, from the participant in my class who had this amazing experience in her meditation. So every single thing is here to help us. It's about how we are choosing to see it. How are we choosing to experience it? Okay, so yes, Alzheimer's is very, very sad, but at the same time, it creates a happy experience for the person who is experiencing it because they're not here anymore. They don't want to be anymore. They want to be in another state of being, and so their consciousness goes there. For us, yeah, it's a hardship, but it doesn't have to be painful. That's really the message that, you know, the higher realm wants to get across, that this all doesn't have to be painful. It's how the human is perceiving it, okay? So those of you that are struggling with loved ones who are experiencing Alzheimer's or dementia, try to look at this from a different state of being, from an experience where you might be able to experience yourself in a higher state of consciousness by activating your opportunity for telepathy. Now, Let me share something important with you. And I know I've said this before, but I want to reiterate it again. When you perceive a psychic medium or myself reading you or someone or anything, it's not happening in the way that you think it's happening, right? And that's why I just did so much talking about how we have to keep going into the higher timelines and not root into the third dimension, because many who are thinking that we have to connect in on an emotional level in order to do that reading like that are actually operating from an empathic place, which is a lower state of being. It is a third dimensional paradigm that is meant to keep us stuck, right? In essence, what's happening is when we're tuning in, when we're connecting and communing from for the purpose of mediumship, or let's say even channeling, not the psychic part, but mediumship and channeling, when we're tuning in and we're gleaning into this information. You know, I tell people all the time that work with me, especially one-on-one or in classes, that I am projecting your consciousness, your higher self back at you, because that's what's connecting with me. I'm connecting with your higher self through a telepathic means. And through that telepathic means, telepathy has been activated between you and I, and what you're hearing coming back to you is your higher self. In all of these videos, those of you that are tuning in, your higher self is speaking to you. So if there's something always that's going to be taken away if you listen with an open heart, because that's how this works, right? I work on behalf of the collective. So whatever I'm saying here today is based on the collective needs in one way or another, whether it's you that has someone that has Alzheimer's or dementia, or someone that you know or love that is experiencing their loved one having Alzheimer's or dementia. That's how it works. And so, and you may not know anybody today, but tomorrow you might. And that's just how this works, okay? So if you think about it, those aspects, channeling and also mediumship, are connecting through telepathy. It is not coming from any other source. That is how we're doing it. There is nothing really magical about it. Some people have an extraordinary gift for it because they've worked on removing the lower dense construct of the limitations or the limiting beliefs. Okay, like someone like my friend Bobby Allison, who's an amazing medium. She has removed those lower constructs, and so she can, you know, connect directly in telepathically, bring through a loved one and get that information coming through. But it requires that you also show up and participate through your telepathic opportunity or experience. And if you're not open to doing that, in other words, if your heart center is not open, you're not going to be able to connect with her or me or anybody else on a telepathic level. Okay, because that's how this works. We are working through the heart now. We're not working through the crown consciousness. We're working through the heart. We go up through to the crown consciousness. Okay, really important to remember. So everything that we're experiencing is coming from a telepathic perspective. And the more you can open to this and acknowledge this, the more you're going to be able to connect and commune with just about everything and anything. And you'll be aligning yourself for the contact, if that's what you're desiring, with your galactic family, with your star family, with your future self, with your hybrid self in the Essassani race of beings who are very prevalent on the earth now. So try to see this from a more positive spin. Everything, every single thing, I can't say this enough, every single thing is here to support us. It depends on your perspective and how you're going to look at it. So from one perspective, Alzheimer's is awful, it's hard, it's tragic, it's sad, it's all of those things, right? That's lower third dimensional. But from a higher state of being, a higher consciousness, our higher self, God self, would say you're experiencing them in a higher state of being because they are able to transcend their physical body and be in a another dimensional plane of existence, giving you an opportunity to stretch yourself, to stretch your awareness, to stretch your consciousness into higher states of being. This is the work. This is how we're doing it. Okay. So hopefully this has shed a little bit of light on another way to view Alzheimer's, so that it takes some of that pain and transmutes it, and it can show you that there is greater opportunity for you to grow in your own personal spirituality. Okay, so thank you again to those of you tuning in with me. I love you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. All right, take care. Bye-bye.